Hey folks, this is Best in Slot and welcome back to our coverage of the brand new Australia pack for Planet Zoo. In this video we're going to take a look at every single brand new item, whether that's decoration, architectural, foliage, rocks, lighting, everything added to the game in the Australia pack. Plus what you can expect as a free-to-play player, well, as a non-DLC buying player I should say, if you don't buy the pack. What stuff are you going to get for free even if you don't pick up the Australia pack? We'll take a look at all of that in a little bit, but we've got 270-ish items to look at, 269 I believe, so we can't dilly-dally, let's get a look on. It's an official term. We're going to start off with some lovely Australian wood. Shut up, no jokes. This is one of our basic architectural items here. So you've got 23 pieces. If you've played the game, you'll recognise all of these items like the back of your bloody hand at this point in time, because we've seen all these a million times in a million configurations, but we have yet another different version. Again, just a little bit of creative control in there. And it's really cool. You can see if you zoom in, we've got these lovely different textured pieces of wood. They all go together really nicely, but they are in different colours. They look like they come from different trees, different species, maybe just the same species in different areas and different soil growth and stuff like that. It gives it a really nice sort of variation to the colour. These are really like the edges. It just feels very well made and well put together. Solid woodworking from the Australian people, I guess. Moving on, we have the same idea over here, another 23 pieces, this time in corrugated iron, and these instead come in a variety of colours. Well, actually they come in blue by default, as you can see. When you get right up close, you can get a feeling for that iron sort of texture. You can see the dints in it and the little marks and little scratches. But from a distance, it looks a little bit like, have you ever had Play-Doh as a kid? You kind of formed it into shapes. This is kind of what it looks like. You know, you'd push the Play-Doh through the machine and it came out and it looked just like this. It was incredible. But you can actually change the colour of this. You can see I've made this one nice and yellow. Over here we've got like a pale green and a red. Same pieces, same idea. Just, you know, yet more building variety if indeed that's the kind of thing you're looking for. A little bit bright on the colours for me, but if it's a little bright on the colours for you, do not fret. We have yet more iron, because I love me some corrugated iron. Over here, so we're up to 46, now we're up to a grand total of 72, so another 26 pieces here. Now these are all roof pieces, but they are yet again corrugated iron. However, this time they don't come in a variety of colours. What we have instead is just a normal iron shading, and except it's covered in sort of a rusty kind of texture. And I will say I absolutely love that. I'm much more a fan of this than I am of that, and I wish we had this also in this colour. I think that'd be really cool. I think this looks absolutely fantastic. It's got that kind of, I watch a lot of Australian horror films, I've talked about this recently, and they always go to like some creaky old hut off in the outback, and the roof always looks exactly like this, kind of ramshackle stuck together, you know, layers of wood on top of there. You got the corrugated iron just sort of laying atop it, rusting, falling apart. You can even see the nuts and bolts holding the whole thing together, and they're not even, look at it, it's in little bits. I love that. That's very, very cool. Very excited to use this. I think this on that wood is going to be a really good combination. I expect to see people using a lot of this in the future. All the pieces you'd expect from the roof. We've got some individual sort of pieces here. So if you want to make a fence or a wall out of this, you could even do that as well. You're not restricted to just the roof with the corrugated iron roof pieces. Moving on from that, I've got to follow my little arrows. We're going here first, just a few pieces over here. This is the carbon fibre roofing. We've only got, I think, 5 pieces here. Yep, just some really interesting carbon fibre pieces. If you get in close, you can see that carbon fibre woven together, I should say, kind of texture. And if you look underneath, you can definitely get a much better feeling for that. Various of these, again, all different colours and shapes and sizes. You can stick, especially these 3 together, I think you could make a pretty cool roof shape. We saw something like that in the trailer for Planet Zoo Australia pack, so that's really cool. You can make little sunshades out of these, little animal houses, stuff like that. And as with most things, and trust me, most things we're seeing here in this pack, you can indeed change the colour if you so choose. I've made it much worse, but you have the freedom to do so if you want to. Moving on from the carbon fibre, follow the arrow, we nip over here, and here we have poles. Metal poles, lots and lots of metal poles. So, let's take a look. We have over here, all of these on the left, I should say, they're all blue by default, but again, you can change the colour of these. We've got some square ones over here. Actual proper gap in the middle, as you can see, and these little stoppers as well, which you use to attach them together. Then we have thinner square ones, we've got some circular ones, we've got some curvy circular ones, and we've got some thinner circular ones as well. Not totally sure what I'm going to do with all these, but I think people are going to be able to make the bendy ones at least into some pretty cool sculptural looking things. We've got a bit of variety on them as well, because again we have a rusted kind of colour, rusting. Basically, I think most packs have two prominent themes. For this one, rusting metal and metal in general is a big theme. And then, as we'll see in a little bit, Aboriginal art and authentic Aboriginal art. We'll talk about it in a little bit, but it's really cool. You're really going to appreciate it, I think. But there you go. Again, more poles. We don't have all the variety we have on the left, on the right, but we do have, a decent number. We've got some thick boys, we've got some thin boys, we've got some bendy boys. The arrow has commanded I move to the east, and to the east we shall move with props. So these are the items listed as props in the construction tab. So we do have a variety of different things here, and we'll go through these bit by bit. These here are path markers. You put these at the outside of your path. When you put the path down, and you'll see it in a little bit, it does automatically get a fence that looks something like this if you turn it on. I really like this. It's like striated red rock. Looks absolutely fantastic. Can see this being used in lots of things, definitely for more than just path. You could use this in building, in animal houses, and stuff like that. I love the sort of rough shape it's got going on as well. We have poles. Everyone loves some poles. Some nice sort of worn, withered, kind of maybe eucalyptus tree logs because of that white colour, and eucalyptus trees often have this bright white bark. And even more poles over here. These are very similar to those ones, except they've got random things sticking out the bottom. No idea what this is. I'm afraid to tell you. Feel free to let me know. I don't know if it's there just to help prop it up or something, but my god. And these are really cool. Look at that, like that wire, that rope bound around them as well. This kind of looks like an elephant foot to me, upside down. It's interesting. These are really cool. I love logs. So I'm really excited to play with these in particular. Over here in the middle, we have the new Australia Pack fences. Interestingly enough, all three fences, again, are metal. We have varying levels of rust and size. Basically, the smaller you are, the rustier you are, just like in real life. So we have these circular ones, or sort of rounded rectangles here. Very, very rusty, basically falling apart. Very cool. Over here we have slightly more rectangle ones, larger ones. Looks slightly less rusty. You can see some sort of red on there. Maybe that is rust. Maybe that's the remnants of the old colour. And then over here we have our bright white, shiny silver ones, and again they're the biggest ones. It's a little bit odd how that's worked out, but it's an interesting selection of fences. I'm surprised we didn't get something more rocky based or more art based or something like that. They're all metal, but yeah, it's cool. They're nice fences, and to be honest, you could use this as a fence anyway. Absolutely no problem at all. So why not have even more types of fence, I guess. We have some pallets. I love pallets. Just putting this out there. Pallets. Very excited about the pallets. Don't know why. If you're ever in a post-apocalyptic world and you need to transfer like a young child across the country to get her to make a cure for zombies, you're going to need a lot of pallets, so keep that in mind. That was meant to be a joke. It was incredibly unfunny. We have these are, what are they? I'm going to double check. These are like canopies, right? Yes. So if you want to put these in front of your exhibits, maybe just on the path as people are walking around, these are really cool. They come with these shields on the top. We have the kangaroo, we have the koala, and we have the dingo. The other two, I'm afraid, have been a bit neglected, but really cool patterning all the way down the side here. I love the sort of bendy shape to them as well. It looks a little bit like something out of, Alice in Wonderland, just because it looks flowery and it's got the bendy shape to it, but it's very cool. And same idea over here. This is rusted metal, and at the top it splays into almost like a pair of butterfly wings, but again with some beautiful Aboriginal indigenous sort of art on the top. And it is worth mentioning, and I'm going to stress this point, there is a lot of research in this pack from Frontier, I know that much. There's a lot of credit to actual artists working with Aboriginal art in Australia, stuff like that. So, everything you're seeing here is, as far as I'm aware, authentic, or as authentic as can be. And that applies to these over here as well. Now, I believe these have been credited, yes. This is a rock painting. So they've got an actual artist who does this kind of work, and he's done the work for these three pieces here. So this is John Smith Gumbula's work. We've got different rock paintings here. We have the Dreaming Country, we have Gecko, and we have the Cassery. 3 different rock painting sculptures. Gonna look so cool. Yeah, they're gonna look great. I don't know how he's done this. This is fantastic work again, but you do get the feeling it's authentic, and I really, really appreciate that. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? I love this one. This is my favourite. I do have a slight addiction to the cassowary though, as you may have seen in my last video, so it's no surprise. But yeah, we got some rock paintings as well. those are all our props. Let's move on a little bit further to the east, and here we have our centerpieces. Now we only have 2 of these. We have the cassowary, this kind of wooden cassowary standing atop a little block there. I haven't included these. These are the example centerpieces made by Frontier. These are included in the game. I didn't build these, but I figure it's not an actual unique item, so it doesn't count. There you go. There's what you could do with the cassowary. I've changed the color just to showcase how that would work. And here we have the Mecaroo. And the Mecaroo is the best thing in the entire game. Just listen to it. Oh, love it. Oh, it's so cool. It's so cool. It's like something you'd see at like an aged, horrific Disneyland. I absolutely adore it. Again, it leans hard into that metal, that rusted metal theme we've got going on here. But it's a kangaroo. The movement, the animation, the sound, it is so cool. The Joey even lifts its head up. This unironically might be my favourite item in the entire game. I want to create an evil army of these things, and I shall do. That gives me an idea. We'll be back at the end of the video. And that's an example again of how you could use it. Moving on, over here, to the signs. We're up to number 167 now in our items, and they've gone hard on the signs. The signs are really cool. First thing we have this kangaroo kind of sign here, just wooden boards atop each other. Can't change anything about this one, it is what it is. A decorative signpost, as it says. We've got all these warning signs. These can be colour changed, as I've shown you here with the koala and the kangaroo in the green and the purple. But we've also got, not only do we have the 5 animals, but we've got a recycling sign and even a Planet Zoo sign, because why the hell not? So they look really cool. I don't know what we're going to do with those, but they do look pretty great. You can see them in action actually over here as well. There you go. This is a combination of the wood and the metal and the sign. Aesthetically, I adore this pack. I really do. Moving on. So, we have our editable signs. Sorry about that. I made this video a while ago. Well, I made the items a while ago. I kind of forgot that I did that. So, we have 4 different customizable signs. 2 of them are like long pieces of wood of varying sizes. One of them is a more sort of circular piece with some nuts and bolts in the side. And one of them is, of course, a piece of rusted metal. I would love it if the signs were a little bit more advanced in this game, because we've got all this empty space down here. Now I guess the idea is we could even, let's just do this as a little example, you could put that on there instead if you wanted to, something like that. But yeah, okay, I guess it's not a big deal then. There we go, lovely stuff. We have a cassowary inlaid kind of thing where you can actually see through it. So I think you could build maybe a really cool cassowary enclosure with that sign sort of highlighting them. Maybe even get lucky enough for it to walk in front of the shape. You know, kind of like those things at the seaside where you put your head through and it makes you look like a bodybuilder or like a... How do I describe this? You know what, we're not going to try to. But it makes you look like other people, shall we say. Maybe the cassowary would bless us like that. Over a little bit further to the right, we have various animal signs as well. These ones are, again, made out of metal. You can change the colour on these, as I've shown you here. These ones, I think, are meant to be plastic. These, like, 3D printed ones here. So we've got the dingo, we've got the kangaroo. We've got a lizard. It kind of looks more like a frog to me. I don't know if I'm going crazy, but I think it's meant to be the lizard. And then for whatever reason, unbeknownst to science, the koala gets an entirely different sign than everyone else. These 3 get this one, the koala gets this. And it is adorable. I love the... I know it's the nose. The shape in the middle is meant to be the nose. I prefer to think of it as like a huge, screaming, gaping maw. I think that would be a little bit cooler, but very cute all the same. A little bit further on, we have these signs over here. Again, I've shown you these going to change colour like so. It does take a little bit of work. I'll show you. For some reason, I swear this wasn't a thing. You have to click colour editor and it takes you into the colour editor. Was that always a thing? Am I going nuts? Is it because they can't fit in the various sections? It's really annoying me. I don't know if that's new or not. I know if I've just gone crazy. These will actually light up at night. I'll show you that very quickly actually whilst we're here. Chapow. There we go. All nicely lit up. Someone else? No, nothing else lights up. I didn't think so. There you go. And these might look a little bit odd, but you can create some pretty cool stuff with them. This is, again, one that Frontier made. It is haunting, to say the least, but it is a very cool little koala, and I can see various uses for these shapes and building your own custom animals. You could even do this, and I suspect people might, for every single animal in the game. If you can make a koala look this good, and there are other ones in this pack like this, you could probably do it for every single animal, because why not? Let's make it daytime again. See what else we've got on our list. If we swing backwards, yep. Over here we have, I think this is our all of the construction. So this was construction stuff. I think it was mainly in architecture, but it didn't really fit into an area. So we have yet more poles, and I love poles. So again, I'm very happy about this. This is the pack with the most poles. We have got all these chunky ones over here, 4 different sizes, and what I really like about this is not only are they different sizes, but they actually have different paintings on them. These two are quite similar, but they all look demonstrably different. So you don't just have to stick the little one on the little one on the little one. Well, you do if you want to. But the point is you can make 4 different patterns of various lengths with these. I think they look great. We've got these thinner ones over here as well. Again, a little burst of colour on there. Can we colour those in ourselves? We cannot. These are Australian painted decorative poles. What shall we look at next? Let's go over here. So these are the 3 sort of shields. I think they are meant to look like shields. If you look at Aboriginal shields, they are typically this shape. Usually maybe a little bit more rounded at the top and the bottom, but something like this. And again, we have the kangaroo, the koala, and the dingo, but you can, move and match these around as much as you want. It's worth noting, and I've just really realised this, because those signs as well, there's no Cassery. There's no Cassery here. The Cassery's been a little neglected, I would say, on the artwork. Just a little bit. That's a shame. Here are our Zoopedia frames, these 2 things at the top. Very cool. Really, really like this one on the left. You're going to see a lot of this if you use the Planet Zoo pre-built stuff for Australia pack. It's kind of like the wood in various colours and shapes and up and down and kind of messy together like that. Really like that. We have a circle, which is a painted wooden circle. It's cool. And some planks if you want to use some planks. Over here we have our shop canopy with a kangaroo. And we have the shop facade there. Really fusing together beautifully the 2 main aspects of this pack, which is again the Aboriginal art and the rusted metal. And this beautiful piece over here, which I've just realised is again, it's the same one. Dreaming, was it Dreamy Country? Oh no, it's not. Oh god. Dreamy Country, Earth, Water, Sky, Fire. That's what it's called. Dreamy Country, Earth, Water, Sky, Fire. Lovely stuff, and it's the same as the artwork over there, but on a sign. Really cool. And we also have this lovely Australian wooden map sign. One of my favourite things. I wish we got this for other packs as well. I think that's really, really cool looking, and we're going to use a lot of that in our zoos. I really like this. What's it on? It actually looks like canvas, doesn't it? It's got the right texture to be canvas anyway. Very cool. I am wondering if they commissioned this specifically. I feel like they might have. I'm wondering if they'll talk about that at some point. Not quite done. We have 2 more pieces of art over here, and these ones are actually, again, signed proper pieces of art by John Smith Gumbula, I don't know. This is our canvas painting Gecko and our canvas painting Cassery. Shame we don't actually have a Gecko. So again, these are similar to the rock paintings over there, but presented in a different way. These are smaller canvas paintings than that one, and they even have like a name and a signature. And given they were done in 2020, I'm going to assume these were custom done for Planet Zoo, and that is really cool. I appreciate that. So there we go. All over constructions takes us up to 190 items. Now we must journey. Follow the snow arrows over here. This is our paths and stuff to take us up to 197. Bear in mind the paths are free. The paths will be downloaded automatically for everybody who has Planet Zoo. The first one we have is this kind of circular pattern one. I can't remember what they call it. It's like geometric. Let me find it, folks. Let me find it. Mosaic path. There you go. That's what it looks like with the curb, and the auto fence for it is just kind of like a fairly standard looking metal fence. A little bit back we have what is I think it's like a red dirt path or something it's called. Earth path. Very nice name. And as you can see, the auto wall for this one is exactly what I said earlier. It's that kind of striated sedimentary rock. And I love how it curves there at the end. Very, very cool. So we're able to do some pretty good looking stuff with this. If, however, you wanted a path that's even more focused on naturalness, then if we sweep down here, you'll see it right here. So this is, let me check what it's called. This is the natural path. So it's very similar to the paths we already have in the game, which is these 4 right here. So this one's got curb railing, and the only difference between them is this. So look, it's the wood, basically. It changes from these thick, darker, circular pieces of wood to the lighter, jutty-up pieces of wood instead. However, I will say the auto fence for this is really cool. It's like the wood gets taller, as you can see, and then it's like strung together with wire. I think that looks really cool. It's got this, again, outback kind of feel that I really, really like. And I think you could make some pretty cool animal pens out of this, actually. Doesn't that look like it could be an animal pen for, like, a farm animal or something? Or a dingo, I guess. And over here, if you're going to have paths, you may as well put some stuff on them. We have a lovely bin with all these little carvings in it. We have our sort of bench, picnic, shade kind of thing. Can we change the colour on this? Let's find out. We can indeed. Oh, very cool. Very cool. Lovely stuff. It's Christmas already. And we have a picnic bench with various animals dancing around in a circle. Again, the Cassery is not bloody here. And some very cozy looking little stools. And then finally we have the Australian bench with its gravity defying build. It's not the comfiest looking bench I've ever seen. I'm surprised this here isn't a cushion like this. Instead it's a big ass block of wood. I don't think it looks super comfy, but it does look great. I really like the design on it. That's really cool. We can even again change the colour if we so choose. Very cool. But yeah, we would not be sitting on that personally. Right. We have to make a little bit of a journey now, I believe. Yes, we have a big arrow to follow. We're going to take a look at the foliage section. So, nyam. Minor interjection here. It turns out I actually forgot the habitat items. So here we are. There's only 4 of them, but let's take a quick look at those. We have, very cool, a bubble machine. There it is, squirting out its old bubblies over there. We have the tug rope. This is for the dingo. I don't know if other animals use it, but it's designed for the dingo anyway. They've got a really cool animation. You may have seen it in the last video where the dingo kind of tugs at the rope and like plays with it as a dog would. Really cool. We have the new paddling pool sort of thing here. You can see the enter on this right hand side, up the ramp into the paddling pool, and they sort of dive around and jump around in there before jumping out. That's really cool as well. Again, the dingo has a great animation for that. We'll have to see what other animals we'll be able to play with it. And finally over here we have the new Eucalyptus Feeder. Now I'm assuming this is only for the koala. Let me just rotate this, get it to a slightly better angle. There we go. Get it into the light, and basically this will get filled up. Again, you may have seen this in the last video, but this will get filled up with lots of eucalyptus plants, and the koala climbs up the eucalyptus tree, sits in the branch over here, and kind of just reaches over and picks up the leaves and numbs them down basically. It's really adorable. Anyways, back to the rest of the video. Pack scenery. That means all of this is scenery that is included as part of the Australia pack. As far as I know. Okay, we'll talk about that in a little bit. So we have 3 big old trees over here. These are a type of eucalyptus. This is the stringy wood eucalyptus. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to point something out. So this one is the biggest one, right? And it's 0, 1. This is the smallest one. It's 0, 3. Just keep that in mind for me, okay? But they're pretty cool, these eucalyptus stringy woods. Again, they've got that sort of light colour you'd expect from eucalyptus. I love the way it kind of starts off normal and then just springs out into this humongous gathering. It's actually pretty awesome. There's many, many myriad branches in there. You could get lost in there, absolutely. Even on the little one, same kind of idea. There's lots and lots of branches, lots and lots of plant coverage. If we nip down a little bit, we have over here 3 types of, what are these called again? I'm just going to click everything. Australian fan palm. Very cool. Actually, we've got 4. We've got a little baby one over here. Very cool though. Weight splays out at the top. Love that. And just adds more and more of them. Gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And yeah, don't it look great? I could chill under that. Someone's fanning me. I'd be down for that. We have some grasses over here. We have Triodea grass there. Kind of looks similar to... Oh, what does it look like? There's a plant that looks quite similar to this already in the game, but this is quite cool. And we have like a darker version of it over here as well. So 6 of these Triodea grasses in total. And then my favourite tree of the bunch. This is the Ghost Gum Tree. Very cool. Let me just check something. Yeah, the Ghost Gum Tree. Now I want to point something out very quickly, because I don't know why Planet Zoo keep doing this. This is number 3, and it's the biggest. 1, 2, 3, right? This is number 3, and it's the smallest. This is number 1, and this is the smallest. This is number 1, it's the biggest, right? That's what I meant to say. They keep doing that. I don't know why. Just have a consistent system, folks. Make 1 the smallest, 3 the biggest, and yet half the plants in the game do it a completely different way. It's bizarre to me. Anyways, not important. So we have 1, 2, and again, the same idea. Like, I love these sort of the way the branches kind of spiral out and curve and wheedle out there, and then but it's colouring. This kind of stark bone white looks amazing against the sort of the red background here. We actually thought these were eucalyptus based on the trailer. I don't really know why. Ghost Gum Tree. What an incredible name that is for a tree as well. Possibly my favourite tree in the game, that right there. I think that is a beautiful, beautiful looking tree. I cannot wait to use it. I mean, just look at that colour difference between the white and the red. That is fantastic. And in a first, we even have a sapling. Look. It's a little baby tree. I don't think we've ever had a tree sapling before, so that's really cool. Hopefully we can get some more of those. I think that's it for actual pack foliage. If we head down here, however, you'll see there's much more foliage. Something to do this the other way. Yes. First of all, we have rocks. These are all free, by the way, so if you don't buy the Australia pack, you will get access to all of these lovely rocks. They're called red desert rocks. They're very similar to the existing desert rocks, but they are red. Basically. I don't really have anything to add to that. They're great, they look nice. They look like Australian desert rocks. It's really cool. Moving on. So over here, we have the free foliage. Now this is as far as I could tell. So every time there's a new pack, it happened with the last pack, it happened with the pack before that, there's a bunch of free foliage added to Planet Zoo. However, if you go to nature, and you go to your filters, and you go to concept pack, and you go to Australia pack, it is not included here because it's free, right? It gets folded into the base game. So what I have to do is go in and try to find the foliage amongst the base game and try to recognise what's new off the top of my head. And that's not always easy. Some of these I'm certain on, some of these I'm not. These, for example, I'm certain on. These are a new type of fern, the Staghorn Fern. They are bizarre. I really like them. They've got a kind of seaweed kind of look to them in a lot of ways. They're very, very interesting in design. I'm also sure about these. Again, these are the century plant large. I really like these are coming though, because we now use these in Africa, in America, in Asia, various other places will use these brand new plants, not just Australia. Very cool. These I'm less sure on. These are fairy fanflower. They are Oceania only, and I don't think anything was in the past, so I do believe these are new. I don't recognise them. Likewise for this is the one I'm least certain on, the Crimson Turkey Bush, but again I don't recognise it. I believe these are new as well. And these grasses over here, I'm pretty certain on these. These are the spiny-headed mat rush. I think these are all new as well. These are spiky and sort of little bundles, very dangerous looking little plants as well. And here again we've got like a dried out arid version or a more lush green version. So if you want to do further to the north in Australia, you could use these. If you want to do further to the south or near a water source, you could use these. You could use the plants and their varying colours to actually tell a story in your habitats, and I think that's really cool. So, if you don't buy the Planet Zoo Australia pack, you should still get access to all these plants for free as well. These shouldn't be part of the pack, these should be part of the free update, as far as I know. I'm not making any promises on that, but that is as far as I know. Last thing, folks, I promise we're nearly there. I actually thought these should have been in much earlier, but I kind of forgot. Lights! Here we go. There are 3 more lights, bringing us up to 269 in total. We have the Australian lamp post, which, again, it's got like a leaf kind of shape at the top with little solar panels built in, which is pretty cool. And then there's the light hanging down, very slick. We have the wall light, which I guess just is metal. And much cooler, we have this bad boy over here. This is the Koala Light. Isn't that the best thing in the world? It looks a little bit like, you know, like a backyard barbecue. You get those big circular black ones and you just lift the roof off. That's kind of what it looks like. I think it actually might be. I suspected. Oh no, it actually is. It actually is it's a grill, isn't it? That they've kind of configured into a light. They've kind of ramshackled it together. Let's go ahead and make it nighttime. See these in action. Says our lamppost. Oh, really cool. Oh, I love that. You can see through it. Yeah, that's really nice. There's our wall lamp. Nothing special there. And there, with 2 little spotlights poking out the side, is our koala. And we can even change the colour of the koala if we so choose. There we go. No. Lovely. Right. That is 269 items. That is all the items in the Planet Zoo Australia pack. Thank you so much for joining me. If you did enjoy this video, please do consider hitting the like button down below. It really helps me out. And I really hope you enjoy the pack. It should be out in about half an hour from when this video goes live. Go check it out for yourselves. I'm going to try to do, we're not going to do a zoo, don't panic. We will in the future, but not right now. But I would like to do a habitat. I would like to do a kangaroo/koala habitat because they are together in the game as well. They are interspecies habitats. And I think that'd be really cool. It'd be a shame to have this new pack and not do anything with it. So we're going to build one really nice habitat for now. It will probably be tomorrow or in a couple of days, or maybe even later tonight, depends how much I get done. Now, before we go, just before we go, one last thing we need to do. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't put the lights in the eyes like I wanted to, because A, the head is too small, and B, the head moves. And as far as I can tell, let me check that actually. I didn't actually check. Let me just stick something to it. Yeah, as you can see, the light doesn't actually stick to it properly. The light won't move the animation. Let's put it that way. So unfortunately, my dreams of a proper evil mechanical kangaroo were ruined. I had to improvise, and improvise I did. Brethren, today we strike. The emus for too long have governed Australia. Oh my god, the horror. For too long have the emus governed Australia. Today, my mechanical brethren, we fight back. Let me hear you. I'm totally surprised my game hasn't gone crazy right now. It's handling it remarkably well. Right, we're going to end it there. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you lovely folks next time. Cheers much love as always. Bye-bye.